Few classic literary authors are as popular today as Jane Austen. Even though her last novel was published back in 1871, her works have stood the test of time and still enchant today's audiences, proving that some characters and themes are universal. The list of movies and television shows based on Austen's catalog is extensive and growing longer by the year. Even now, there are fresh adaptations of Sense and Sensibility and Pride and Prejudice in the works. Every fan has their own favorite, but there's little question that one particular project has received a special kind of fame. 2005's Pride and Prejudice, directed by Joe Wright and starring Keira Knightley as Elizabeth Bennet and Matthew Macfadyen as Mr. Darcy, the film was well received at the time of its release, earning 4 Oscar nominations and 6 BAFTA noms. 20 years later, it remains a pop culture sensation and one of the most beloved Jane Austen adaptations. Cast members such as Knightley, Macfadyen, and Rosamund Pike still comment on the film, and Darcy's famous hand flex has inspired countless TikToks and tributes. With the official 20th anniversary arriving this month, it's time to assess what truly makes Pride and Prejudice so special. On the surface, it's easy to pick out the most appealing elements of Pride and Prejudice. The enemies-to-lovers setup has only grown more popular within the romance genre, both on-screen and on the page, and period pieces have become a go-to staple for viewers longing for a different time, as evidenced by the success of series like Bridgerton and The Gilded Age. On a more specific level, Darcy and Elizabeth's love story already served as the basis for another fan-favorite adaptation with 95's BBC miniseries. Austen's other novels feature equally compelling romances, but yet even though Emma and Sense and Sensibility have each received strong movies of their own, none have reached the same towering heights as Pride and Prejudice. That's because its strength goes beyond the surface-level components that people clock at first glance. To really understand why Wright's film is so enchanting, one has to pay attention to the smaller moments. The hand flex is undoubtedly the biggest example, so big now that it almost doesn't count as a tiny detail. Still, it speaks to a larger force at play. The scene in question finds Darcy helping Elizabeth into a carriage as she and her family leave Netherfield following Jane's illness. Though he has made his apparent dislike for her known, he still offers her a hand up into the carriage, and as he walks away, he flexes it by his side, as if stung by her touch. Famously, it was something Macfadyen did naturally on set, and Wright made sure to capture it. It's that last bit that highlights Wright's brilliant approach to adapting Pride and Prejudice, which goes beyond switching the time period of the novel. He captured the tiny, significant moments that accumulate to form a relationship. In the crowded rush of a ball, or during a loud meal with family, quieter displays of intimacy can fall to the wayside, but they're no less important when it comes to the foundation of a pivotal bond. When one looks closely, they can see Pride and Prejudice is filled with them. The hand flex is at least partially responsible for Pride and Prejudice's more recent resurgence, but there are several other key moments that deserve recognition as well. Another scene between Darcy and Elizabeth later on reveals just how much the former has paid attention to the latter. When Darcy offers to give Elizabeth a ride back to her inn after visiting Pemberley, she quickly asserts she prefers to walk. Very sincerely, Darcy replies, "Yes. Yes, I know." This is the first time Elizabeth has verbalized her love of walking, indicating Darcy has picked up on it all on his own. Wright gives Elizabeth and Darcy's relationship further depth in other ways, such as erasing the other dancers during the Netherfield ball, as the two protagonists twirl around each other, eyes locked. They are the only ones in the room. The movie's attention to detail even goes beyond the central pair, beyond romance. Elsewhere, at that very same ball, Bingley is shown briefly grasping Jane's dress as he trails in her wake, as if both eager to be close to her and afraid to lose her in the chaos, and Mr. Bennet comforts a sobbing Mary after her musical performance is cut short, emphasizing his paternal warmth. Every moment and carefully planned shot comes together to form a version of Pride and Prejudice that is keenly aware of what makes love and friendship so meaningful.